June 11th is a turning point. Archangel Michael's message holds the key to your future. Don't skip. June 11th is not just a day marked on your calendar. It is a divine alarm sounding across the heavens. A spiritual threshold is forming, and Archangel Michael, the commander of heavenly hosts, has taken his position at the gate of time. He does not move without assignment. He does not speak without divine urgency. And now, he issues this message with fierce authority, because what lies ahead is not optional. It is eternal. Understand this. Time is spiritual. Dates hold prophetic assignments. June 11th has been etched in the scrolls long before you were formed in your mother's womb. It is a spiritual inflection point, and you were not meant to stumble into it unaware. You were summoned. Loved. Chosen. You are not here by coincidence, but by covenant. And that covenant is now being activated under heaven's command. The time for casual faith has expired. The time for surface-level belief is over. His message requires stillness. It requires obedience. It requires the kind of silence that silences your ego so your spirit can hear. For on June 11th, the veil thins. Heaven draws closer. The divine dimension opens, and only those attuned in spirit will discern what truly unfolds. This is a spiritual crossroads. A line is being drawn, and not everyone will cross. Some will fall into confusion. Others will be swept into distractions. But those who heed this message, those who humble their hearts and incline their ears, will step into a dimension of divine revelation that cannot be reversed. Archangel Michael stands with his sword unsheathed. He watches. He listens. He discerns who has eyes to see and ears to hear. If you feel this stirring deep within your soul, then you are part of the remnant being awakened. This isn't for the lukewarm. This isn't for the spectators. This is for the sealed, the ones marked in the spirit before they even understood why they never quite fit in. What happens on June 11th does not just affect the day. It determines your trajectory. Your posture now determines what the heavens release. Whether you rise or remain stuck in cycles depends on how you respond to what is being spoken in this hour. Heaven is requesting a divine pause. The noise around you must be silenced. The rush of the world must be hushed. The Holy Spirit is whispering, and those whispers carry the coordinates to your breakthrough. Still your heart. Quiet your surroundings. Heaven is speaking. And this is your moment of reckoning, of realignment, and of release. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Archangel Michael issues this rare transmission with the weight of eternity in his voice, not as a messenger of comfort, but as a commander of heavenly shifts. Within 72 hours, destinies will be redirected, he warns, and his words pierce through the veil like lightning. This is not symbolic. This is not poetic. This is prophetic precision. The realm of the spirit is moving fast, and time in the natural must now respond. June 11th is not a concept. It is a divine checkpoint in your journey, a date already pulsing with sacred energy. The countdown has begun, and heaven watches to see who will awaken in time. This message was never meant to find the masses. It was designed for the marked. For those whose names have echoed in realms unseen. For those who, in feeling the restlessness in their spirit, the unease without explanation, the subtle shifts in atmosphere. The divine clock is ticking, and if you're reading this, you have been summoned. This is not your imagination. This is not coincidence. You didn't stumble upon this message. You were led to it. Pulled by a thread of divine intention, straight into the center of prophetic revelation. You are standing at a spiritual checkpoint. The air is heavy because the veil is thin. The tension in your life is not random. It is the evidence of an upcoming release. The spiritual forces assigned to your promise have been activated, but so too have the forces of delay and distraction. That is why Michael speaks now, to break through the confusion, to shake you out of slumber, to realign you with the sound of heaven's timing. Let every distraction be silenced. Let every fear be disarmed. For what you are about to hear is not information, it is impartation. The kind that rewires your trajectory, the kind that reconfigures your spirit. What hath been sealed now stands on the edge of unveiling. The promise tied to your name, buried in ages past, begins to stir. Your obedience is the key that unlocks the vault of what was written before your first breath. You have felt it, the shift in your atmosphere, the strangeness in people's eyes when they look at you, the emotional turbulence you can't explain. That was not weakness, that was preparation. It was your inner man responding to the sound of destiny approaching, the whisper in your dreams, the sudden urge to withdraw, the unshakable feeling that you are being watched, measured, even tested. You were right. Heaven had been observing. Angels have been dispatched. And Michael, the warrior of divine justice, now breaks rank to issue this call. Stand in position. He says, the next 72 hours are not ordinary. They are divine pivots, appointed times. You cannot afford to miss your cue. What you do in this window will affect the rest of your year, even your life. Heaven is watching your response. Will you harden your heart, or will you surrender your will? Will you scroll past this, or will you set aside your time and align with eternity? Heaven doesn't shout, beloved, it whispers. The Spirit doesn't shove, it beckons. You are being called not just to listen, but to respond, to posture yourself in reverence, to set your heart like flint and prepare for impact. June 11th is an opening, a divine moment that has been set aside just for you. Everything that has been delayed, everything that has felt out of reach, it begins to move when you move in alignment. Do not look for confirmation in others. They weren't assigned this revelation. This was for you. Chosen one. Sealed one. Appointed one. You know this is speaking to you because your spirit is bearing witness. The moment you began reading, something awakened. That is heaven's echo. That is the sound of your scroll being unsealed. What was hidden from you is about to be released through you. Archangel Michael doesn't release messages often, only when a shift is critical, only when heaven is making record of movements on earth. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are on time. And this moment is your confirmation. Raise your expectation. Still your environment. The divine is not distant. It is here. And you are in the center of it. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. They noticed. And not just your presence. They noticed your potential. There's been a shift. And even those who cannot articulate it have felt it. Odd glances. Shifted tones. Silent withdrawals. Random bursts of envy cloak in politeness. They see something rising in you that you've barely begun to understand yourself. They're watching not for who you are now, but for what you carry. They may not know the full weight of it, but they can feel the tremble in the spirit realm every time you walk into a room. Something has changed, and it's unsettling the atmosphere around you. What they sense is not your success. It's your upcoming surge, your emergence, your alignment with destiny. That's why certain conversations have shifted. That's why emotional tension has become your new norm. That's why people close to you have suddenly become unpredictable. Your breakthrough has been sensed in the spirit before it manifests in the natural. And those with spiritual sensitivity, even if they don't serve your God, have picked up on it. The resistance isn't logical because the battle isn't natural. It's spiritual. It's personal. And it's prophetic. There's a disturbance in the invisible realm, a holy agitation. Your name has come up. Your assignment is being activated. A warfare isn't about what you've done. It's about what's about to be released through you. Archangel Michael has revealed. A whisper from heaven has already disrupted the balance of your current reality, and that whisper has disturbed demonic plans. You sensed this. You felt a pull to heaviness, a restlessness. You've cried without reason. You've grown quiet, withdrawn, even suspicious of your own emotions. But your emotional turbulence is not weakness, it's confirmation. These aren't just mood swings, they are spiritual tremors. A holy signal that the realm of the unseen is colliding with the timing of the divine. When heaven begins to speak your name in high places, the lower realms respond with counterattacks. Subtle, psychological, personal. The warfare shows up as mood shifts, misunderstandings, moments of overwhelming fatigue, sudden isolation. And it's not meant to break you, it's meant to distract you. Because if the enemy can disrupt your emotions, he can blur your spiritual perception. He can convince you that something is wrong, when in truth, something is finally right. Something has been set in motion, and the enemy is panicking. You were not wrong to feel different. That confusion wasn't just mental, it was spiritual feedback. Heaven disrupted your normal because your normal no longer matched your next. You were pulled out of rhythm for realignment. What felt like chaos was actually a divine repositioning. Every tear you've cried lately was counted. Every sigh was sacred. Even your silence was heard in heaven. And heaven responded by dispatching protection. Michael is not just watching, he is covering. You're not crazy. You're not unstable. You're not too emotional. You are under spiritual observation. And everything around you has been stirring to see if you will cave or consecrate. This emotional shaking is a test of readiness. You're about to step into visibility. But first, you had to become invisible, even to yourself. You had to be stripped of attachments that no longer match your elevation. That's why relationships have felt strange. That's why you've outgrown old conversations. You are shifting dimensions. Something is hidden around you, not from you, but for you. It's not yet time for full revelation, but the Spirit has begun to release clues. Pay attention. The repetition of numbers. The same scripture reappearing. The dream you can't forget. The random message that pierced your heart. These are not accidents. They are spiritual codes. And they are leading you to the unveiling. So be watchful. Be still. Your spirit knows something your mind cannot yet explain. And that feeling, that tug in your chest, that ache in your soul, is heaven confirming that the mystery surrounding you is not confusion. It is divine concealment, about to become divine revelation. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks, with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe for more spiritual insight, prophetic guidance, and divine timing alerts. Stay connected. This is just the beginning. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. This isn't ordinary resistance. What you've been walking through has the fingerprints of eternity all over it. The rejection, the confusion, the closed doors, the spiritual fatigue, none of it is coincidence. You are in the center of a divine filtration process, a holy separation, a spiritual war that has disguised itself in everyday events. But now, by the authority of Archangel Michael, it is being revealed for what it is, warfare dressed as reality. You weren't rejected because you lacked value, you were shielded. Heaven refused to let you plant roots in soil that couldn't sustain your calling. The job didn't pass you by, it passed you over because it was beneath your destiny. That person didn't leave because you weren't enough. They left because they couldn't stand the weight of your future. You were protected by what you thought was punishment. And now heaven declares, you were never forsaken. You were filtered. Every trial you've endured has been a test of your core, a shaking meant to sift the dust from the gold. The things that couldn't remain were never meant to. What broke off wasn't lost, it was liberation. And now, what remains is pure, holy, defined by fire, but for purpose. Heaven only trusts vessels that have been emptied. And you have been emptied deeply. The chaos was not random. It was a spiritual indicator that something bigger was birthing. Your trial was timed. Your silence was scheduled. Your resistance was heaven approved. Because when God begins to elevate, he first separates. And when the enemy senses promotion, he dispatches pressure. That's why it felt like everything was hitting you at once. Not because you're cursed, but because you are on the cusp. You are nearing the edge of revelation, and the enemy is desperate to block your clarity. Michael has drawn his sword. The heavens are not passive in this moment. You are under divine surveillance. Everything you do in this hour, every word, every reaction, every prayer, is tipping the scales in the unseen realm. Your response now decides what heaven releases next. Will you panic or will you prophesy? Will you retreat or will you reclaim? You are being watched not to be judged, but to be rewarded. The spiritual battle you face isn't just about your peace. It's about your position. Your assignment has been reactivated. Your name is echoing in the courts of heaven. What you thought was a delay was actually divine preparation. You were not being punished. You were being postured, trained, refined, so that when the blessing falls, it won't crush you, it will crown you. Do not be afraid of the warfare. It is a signal of your weight. The enemy does not attack the empty. He fears the full. And you, chosen one, are full of divine potential, full of anointing, full of answers, full of light. You are under assignment, and you are not alone. Angels are walking with you. Archangel Michael stands guard. Every threat has been recorded. Every plot has been countered. Every curse is being reversed. This is not the end. This is the turning. What looks like breaking is actually birthing. What feels like pressure is actually promotion. You are walking through the fire, but you will not be burned. You are walking through the valley, but you will not faint. You are not under attack. You are under assignment. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and remember who you are. You are not forsaken. You are not failing. You are favored, and heaven is moving. Type "I am under assignment" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now covering your steps. Something is moving in secret, and Archangel Michael has sounded the trumpet. Heaven does not warn without reason. The battle lines are forming, and the coming days, especially June 11th through June 14th, will be spiritually decisive. You must not walk into this window unaware. Someone close to you, someone in your atmosphere, has become a silent agent of disruption. Not always by intent, but certainly by influence. They've allowed access to the wrong spirit. They've allowed envy, insecurity, or rebellion to open a doorway, and that door has become a foothold for the enemy. You feel the shift. You've noticed the glances, the hesitation, the strange behavior. That's not paranoia. That's discernment. What is being plotted isn't necessarily physical. It's emotional, spiritual, strategic. Their conversation may sound neutral, but it's laced with delay. Their posture seems innocent, but it's infected with doubt. You were once aligned, but something has shifted. What you don't confront in the natural, you must conquer in the spirit. You are not called to panic, but you are called to perceive. June 11th opens a spiritual gate. By June 14th, the gate either leads to fulfillment or further delay. The difference will be determined by your spiritual posture, your obedience, and your discernment. There is a shaking coming, and it will expose what was hidden. Not all of it will be pleasant. Some of the people you've held close were only meant to be seasonal scaffolding, not permanent pillars. The silence you feel from certain individuals is revealing. The conversations that suddenly don't sit well are warnings. The passive aggression, the subtle dismissal of your growth, it's spiritual, and it's preparing you. Heaven is allowing the mask to slip, not to embarrass you, but to equip you. You must see clearly to step fully into what's being released. The pressure you feel right now, that weight that sits on your chest, that mental fog that keeps trying to return, it's not just stress. It's the hand of heaven pressing you into position. Heaven is stretching your sensitivity, making you uncomfortable so you won't cling to what cannot go with you. You must not mourn the separation. What feels like a loss is actually a divine removal. There are people, places, and patterns that cannot follow you into the fulfillment tied to June 11th. If you try to bring them, you will delay the promise. If you release them, you will activate the protection. Michael speaks. What was buried will surface. This is not just metaphor. This is prophetic truth. Hidden motives, buried pain, suppressed memories, ancestral patterns. All of it is surfacing now because you cannot carry that weight into your next. And not all will survive the unveiling. Some connections will end. Some illusions will shatter. Some lies will be confronted by truth. The spirit of truth is moving with urgency, and you must be ready to respond. This message is your shield, but it only protects those who obey. Obedience now is your weapon. Not reaction, not retaliation, not confrontation. Obedience. The enemy is counting on your emotional response. He wants you to overstep, to speak out of anger, to retaliate from woundedness. Don't fall for the bait. What you do over these next few days will either confirm your alignment with heaven or open new doors of warfare. You are being watched, not just by man, but by angels. And heaven records the responses of the chosen. You are being prepared for a moment that was written in eternity. Heaven is closer than it feels. The veil is thinner than it appears. And everything in your life, every relationship, every conversation, every thought, is being weighed. Don't mistake the quiet for inactivity. God is moving. Angels are in motion. Archangel Michael has already drawn his sword. All that remains is your response. So prepare. Fast if you must. Pray with intentionality. Watch your words. Guard your gates. Because what's coming doesn't just seek your reaction. It seeks your agreement. And you must only agree with heaven. Your assignment is too sacred, your timing too precise, your promise too close. Type "I will obey" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7744 is surrounding your next 3 days. Now hear this clearly, for the voice of Archangel Michael resounds through the corridors of your soul. Stand still. Let heaven war on your behalf. This is not your battle to fight. You were not designed to carry this weight. You were never meant to explain yourself to those determined to misunderstand you. In this season, your greatest power will not come from what you say, but from what you refuse to respond to. The divine strategy is stillness. The holy posture is silence. The angelic agenda is protection, and you, chosen one, are surrounded. It is counterintuitive. You want to defend your name. You want to clarify your heart. You want to confront the disrespect, the betrayal, the false narratives. But Michael says, do not move in the flesh. Heaven has already responded. Every lie spoken against you has been recorded. Every dart aimed at you hath been deflected. Every trap set for your fall hath been tripped by the enemy who laid it. Justice is already moving, and you do not need to accelerate what is already in divine motion. Silence is not surrender. It is sacred spiritual warfare. It is the language of power, the weapon of the meek, the shield of the obedient. In your silence, heaven shouts. In your stillness, angels strike. You have nothing to prove. The weight of proof lies on heaven's shoulders now. Your assignment is to trust, not the situation, not the people, but the plan. The divine blueprint that sees the end from the beginning and knows how to extract glory from every valley you've walked through. There's divine activity surrounding you. Even now, angels are whispering your name in realms you've never visited. You are being advocated for in places your feet haven't yet reached. There are battles you don't even know you were spared from. You've been frustrated because you haven't seen progress, but the truth is, heaven has been shielding you, not stalling you. There is divine negotiation taking place behind the veil, and your only job is to remain in position. Pray with intensity. Fast with clarity. Journal with expectation. Let the Spirit encrypt your soul with divine codes. Let every tear you cry become ink on heavenly scrolls. Let every word you write be sealed in the Spirit. Heaven is collecting your grief and turning it into strategy. Your sorrow is a signal to angels. Your obedience is an activation code. What you do in secret is unlocking warfare in the heavenlies. And speak no fear. Not now. Not in this hour. You cannot afford to let fear shape your language. You cannot allow doubt to echo in your chambers. The only words permitted in this season are divine promises, prophetic declarations, heaven-approved confessions. Speak what God says, nothing more, nothing less. And when you don't know what to say nothing. Silence will protect what your voice might pollute. You are not exposed. You are not uncovered. You are not outnumbered. You are surrounded. Heaven's presence walks with you. Archangel Michael's forces flank your steps. Even in the invisible, you are guarded. Even in the dark, you are guided. You do not need to see the way forward. You only need to trust the one who is leading. So pause. Breathe. Trust. and obey. Let the world spin. Let people talk. Let confusion rise around you. You are anchored in something deeper. Your stillness is not weakness, it is warfare. And your quietness is not defeat, it is divine discipline. You are being held in a realm where justice never fails, where vengeance is always righteous, and where truth always wins. Archangel Michael is not requesting your fight, he is commanding your faith. Type "I trust heaven" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 888 is guarding your silence. You are not who they walked away from. You are not who they underestimated. You are not who you were when they saw your vulnerability and mistook it for weakness. The version of you that they tried to destroy has been buried, and in its place, something unshakable has risen. Heaven has upgraded you. Quietly, secretly. While you were grieving, you were growing. While you were isolated, you were being infused with divine substance. While the enemy celebrated your silence, God was sculpting your strength. And now, it begins. A shift from hidden to heralded, from broken to built, from overlooked to overflown. You are stepping into the part of the story where your scars become your authority, where your warfare becomes your wisdom, where your loss becomes your leverage. They thought they left you crushed. What they didn't see was that every tear you shed was softening the ground for your roots. What they called weakness was whimstays. What they rejected was glory under construction. You have been refined in the furnace of affliction. But the fire did not consume you. It completed you. Heaven was not trying to kill you. It was trying to crown you. The pain wasn't punishment, it was purpose encoded in prayer. Your spirit was being carved. Your oil was being crushed. Your mantle was being stitched together in invisible dimensions. This is why you felt stripped of everything. Because what was growing inside of you couldn't coexist with what surrounded you. Now rise. Your wings are forming. The version of yourself that emerges from this season will not be recognizable, even to you. You will hear your own voice and feel its new power. You will see your own eyes and feel their deeper fire. You will stand in places that once felt impossible and realize you've been made for it. You will walk with an authority that doesn't come from titles, degrees, or applause, but from survival, from endurance, from sacred obedience. You are not a victim. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. And heaven has invested heavily in your survival. You've passed tests you didn't even know were happening. You've endured levels of demonic resistance that would have crushed a weaker vessel. But you kept going. Even when no one saw you. Even when no one thanked you. Even when all you had was a whisper of hope and a war in your mind. You didn't break. You bent. You didn't run. You resisted. And because of that, heaven now moves on your behalf with acceleration. This is your becoming. You are stepping into divine identity, into spiritual governance, into unshakable clarity. The insecurities you used to wrestle with are dissolving in the fire of your obedience. The old doubts are being replaced by holy discipline. You no longer need their validation. You've been validated by survival, by endurance, by divine approval. Heaven has already stamped you as qualified. Walk like it. Talk like it. Command your atmosphere. Command your mind. Walk through rooms like you were born for it because you were. This is the part of your journey where you stop asking for permission and start issuing decrees. You don't need their applause. You carry divine assignment. You are no longer just hoping things will get better. You are declaring what must bow to your authority. The fire they used to try and destroy you became your coronation. You are not done. You are just beginning. Step forward, clothed in light, sealed in grace, empowered by every enemy who underestimated you. Type "I am walking in power" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is now empowering your steps. Hear now the most sacred whisper, not from man, but from the throne of heaven. June 11th is not only a date, it is a release, a divine unlocking, a spiritual doorway that has remained sealed until now. Not because you weren't worthy, but because the time wasn't ripe. But now the time has matured. The promise has come to full term. And what was locked up before your birth is now being released for your destiny. Archangel Michael confirms it. This date holds prophecy embedded within your bloodline. This moment has your name written in the folds of eternity. And this moment, this very moment, is your personal turning point. Not a public celebration, not a visible explosion, but a holy eruption in the realm of the spirit. You are about to be activated. What you thought was delay was simply divine coordination. Everything you're walking through, every trial, every unanswered question, every delay, every unfulfilled promise, it's all been precisely timed. You were never behind. You were never forgotten. You were hidden, protected, kept from platforms and people that would have poisoned the purity of your call. Heaven didn't deny you. It preserved you. And now the scroll is opening. Your name is being read aloud in realms unseen. Angelic forces are now realigning your path, clearing blockages, and accelerating your pace. The pain was prophetic. The suffering was strategic. The opposition was orchestration. Nothing you faced hath been wasted. Not one moment. Not one breakdown. Not one loss. Every piece was part of the puzzle. Every delay was divine. And every tear you cried watered the ground where your promise now blooms. You are being revealed in this hour. Not to people, but to heaven itself. And when heaven reveals you, no one can conceal you. This is not about going viral. This is about going vertical, ascending into the realm of full agreement with what God already wrote about you. You're not discovering your purpose, you're remembering it. You've known this feeling since childhood, that you were different, set apart, misunderstood. That was your spirit recalling the scroll. You've carried this promise for years. You felt it in your bones, even when your life looked nothing like it. And now it's time. The wait ends with revelation. June 11th doesn't just shift your season. He opens your scroll. And from that scroll, heaven begins to assign new authority. Your voice begins to carry new weight. Your name begins to stir in the hearts of people assigned to bless you, fund you, cover you, walk with you. People you've never met will suddenly feel drawn to you. It's not charisma, it's calling. You will begin to dream again, and your dreams will carry divine instruction. You'll feel a fire in your prayer life. You'll see strange confirmations, numbers, names, moments, all pointing to the fact that the supernatural is drawing close. You are not crazy. You are not imagining it. You are awakening. The fog is lifting. The veil is thinning. And heaven is speaking your name. Michael says, your name echoes through realms. And it's true. Demons flee when you wake up. Heaven rejoices when you pray. The earth groans when you delay your assignment. You are not optional. You are essential. This world needs what you carry. This generation is waiting for your obedience. And this moment, June 11th, is the ignition point. Stand tall. Kneel low. Worship with intensity. and move with urgency. You waited long enough. Heaven says yes. Earth is responding. The realms are shifting. And you are the key. Your obedience is about to unlock doors that have been rusted shut for generations. If this message resonated in your soul and you feel led to support, you can sow a super thanks. Even a simple gift of $5 helps us create more powerful, spirit-led content. Your support matters deeply. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe now for ongoing prophetic insight, spiritual warfare strategies, and divine timing alerts that speak directly into your season. Your breakthrough deserves clarity. Stay connected. Type "I receive the revelation" in the comments if this word confirms your season. Blessing code 1313 has now been opened for you. It's time. Not just to believe it, not just to sense it, but to declare it. To stand in full agreement with what heaven has already authored about you. You've been silent long enough. You've second-guessed long enough. You've watched others rise, wondering when your time would come. And now, the Spirit declares through the voice of Archangel Michael, June 11th is your yes. A divine yes. An irreversible yes. An echoing yes from heaven to earth, waiting only for your agreement. No more hesitation. No more delay. The days of shrinking are over. You were not created to occupy space in silence. You were created to command realms. Your words are keys. Your agreement is the ignition. You've waited on God, but now God is waiting on you. Say it aloud. I agree with heaven. Let it vibrate through your body. Let it pierce the atmosphere around you. Every chain, every delay, every blockade, every lie, every ounce of fear, all of it begins to bow the moment your voice aligns with your divine scroll. This is a call to authority, not apathy. A call to speak like one who is not requesting a blessing but releasing one. There is a fire on your tongue that you have not fully accessed yet. There is power in your breath that has been dormant. And heaven says, speak, declare, decree, release, prophecy. You've been given the language of kings. You've been anointed to command change, not just adapt to it. Every time you open your mouth in agreement with heaven, realms shift. You were not made to retreat. You were not wired to run. Your spirit was built for battle, formed in fire, and destined for dominion. The voice of Michael rings out. Heaven responds to bold obedience. Not timidity. Not delay. Not double-mindedness. Bold obedience. The kind of obedience that moves even when there's no confirmation from man. The kind of obedience that feels risky but is anchored in revelation. This is the obedience that opens doors that no man can shut. Do not underestimate what your yes carries. You are not just saying yes to a promise. You are saying yes to purpose. Yes to visibility. Yes to warfare. Yes to favor. Yes to stewardship. June 11th is not the end of your waiting. It is the beginning of your walking. You're being summoned to move forward. To act. To write the book. Launch the vision. Rebuild the altar. Sever the tie. Choose the hard road. Heaven is waiting, not on your perfection, but on your permission. This is not about who believes in you. This is about who sent you. And heaven has already endorsed your anointing. You've been activated in the Spirit. You've been commissioned in the quiet. And now the time of silence ends. You must walk like you've been chosen. Walk like you've been equipped. Move like you carry something hell has tried to keep buried. Your yes on June 11th activates divine movement, angelic motion, acceleration in areas that have felt stagnant. There will be swift turnarounds, strategic alignments, unexpected open doors. But it begins with your voice, not passively hoping, not quietly waiting, declaring, boldly, repeatedly, apologetically. Let hell hear it. Let your past hear it. Let your inner child hear it. You are not going back. This is not about hype. This is about holy fire. You are being mantled again, this time for manifestation. Your season of hiding is over. A time for watching is done. Heaven has already said yes. All that remains is you. Type I agree with heaven in the comments if your yes is real. Blessing code 5555 is releasing divine acceleration now. What you see with your eyes is only a fraction of what is truly happening. Right now, as you breathe, as you sit in stillness or wrestle with tears, there are angels, divine agents, negotiating, shifting, and rewiring the very structure of your life behind the veil. The Spirit of God wants you to know the silence you've endured was never empty. It was sacred. While you slept, heaven moved. While you wept, scrolls were being opened. While you felt forgotten, your name was being whispered in rooms you haven't entered yet. Not boardrooms, throne rooms. Not offices, dimensions. There are divine beings who have been dispatched specifically for you, orchestrating a turnaround so precise that only eternity could have scheduled it. Your obedience hasn't been wasted. It's been recorded. You've cried out for restoration, and heaven didn't say no. Heaven said not yet. It must be rerouted. What you lost was not refused. It's being repositioned. Held back not by denial but by design. Some blessings had to be recalibrated. Some promises had to be restructured. Because if they had arrived too early, they would have ruined you. But now your spirit is matured. You persecuted open. Your foundation strengthened. And what was held is now being released. There's a silence in the realm that is not absence. It is transaction. Divine exchanges are happening without your awareness. Every seed sown in faith, every quiet act of obedience, every moment you resisted temptation, every time you chose to forgive, it has all been weighed. Nothing has gone unnoticed. And now heaven is responding, not loudly but in stillness. Pay attention to your restlessness. It's not anxiety. It's spiritual signaling. Your inner man is picking up on shifts that your mind can't interpret. That ache you feel in your chest. That pull you feel in your dreams. That sudden urge to pray with no words. Those are symptoms of divine movement. Your spirit knows what your soul hasn't caught up with yet, that heaven is negotiating on your behalf. You feel off because you are in transit. Between dimensions. Between former things and future glory. Your spirit has already moved, but your body is catching up. Don't force clarity. Don't rush the revelation. Just yield. Just stay positive. Let the Spirit finish what the Spirit started. This is not the moment to explain yourself. This is the moment to entrust yourself. Entrust your name. Entrust your reputation. Entrust your timeline. Let God do what you can't. The breakthroughs you're about to walk into won't make sense, because they didn't come through logic. They came through exchange. Your surrender was the payment. Your warfare was the sacrifice. And your obedience was the currency. There are names being spoken in secret places. There are scrolls being unsealed. There are keys being handed over to angels. There are gates being unlocked. And you, yes, you, are the reason behind it. You've obeyed when no one saw. You sown when it didn't make sense. You've prayed when your faith was barely alive. And heaven is at your gun. The record books are open. The time stamps are real. What happens over these next days, starting with June 11th, will be the outward manifestation of invisible exchanges. You'll walk into rooms where favor has preceded you. You'll receive calls, ideas, instructions, dreams, all downloaded from realms higher than your understanding. Don't overthink it. Just obey. The Spirit is moving too quickly to stop for logic. And even now, as you listen, something in the spirit realm is completing. You're not being promoted because of perfection. You're being promoted because of positioning. You've stayed in place. You've stayed humble. And you've stayed awake. That's what made you eligible. This turning point is not public, but it is eternal. You'll wake up one morning and nothing will be the same. Not because something shifted outside, but because something finished inside. Type "I receive the silent miracle" in the comments if your spirit feels this transaction. Blessing code 999 is finalizing what's been fought for. Heaven has drawn the line, and Archangel Michael stands with sword raised, not in warning, but in fulfillment. Justice is not a concept in the kingdom. It is a decree. A law. A motion that moves when the cries of the righteous reach the throne of the Most High. And beloved, your cries have been heard. Your pain has not been ignored. The injustice you've endured was recorded in detail, and the time for silence has ended. Now comes the reversal. Every betrayal sent toward you will be returned, but not in equal measure. It will return with divine fire, with holy force, not for revenge but for restoration. God is not just bringing balance, He's bringing public redemption. You were misjudged in private, so He will vindicate you in full view. You were counted out behind closed doors, but you will rise through doors no man can shut. What the enemy meant to bury you under will now become the platform God uses to lift you up. They thought they ended you when they walked away. They thought their silence would break you. But what they failed to realize is that you weren't buried, you were planted. And the difference is divine intention. A buried thing is forgotten. A planted thing is watched, tended, cultivated. And now you are sprouting. The tears, the delays, the lies, the isolation, all of it was watering your roots. The root system you've built through obedience has outgrown the pit you were thrown into. Reversal is not just a nice word. It is heaven's official verdict over your life. The word of the Lord is final, and it says, "You shall rise." Not in arrogance, not in pride, but in power. You will rise, and your enemies will watch it unfold. They won't understand how. They'll think you must have had help, and they'll be right. But not earthly help. Heavenly help. Divine strategies. Angelic interventions. Kingdom-backed favor. You must understand this. Divine justice is not just about payback. It's about divine repositioning. God isn't just settling scores. He's rearranging the spiritual board. Those who tried to block you will now need your blessing to move forward. The ones who mocked you will now see your elevation and wrestle with conviction. And you will not gloat. You will not boast. Because your heart has been purified by fire. Your spirit is anchored in humility. Michael confirms, this battle ends in your coronation. The crown they tried to strip from you has returned, heavier and more glorious. You wore ashes, but now heaven places glory on your head. You walked in shame, but now favor will fall like rain. There is no debt you still owe. The blood of Jesus paid it in full. What you lost will return sevenfold, not because of who you are, but because of what you endured without compromising your obedience. Heaven has already begun to shift the narrative. Conversations are happening behind closed doors. Contracts are being drafted in the Spirit. Rooms you were locked out of are now being prepared for your entrance. You don't need to fight for recognition. Heaven has already sealed your release. What you need now is readiness. A readiness to forgive, to bless, to receive, and to reign. They will see you rise, not to prove them wrong, but to prove God right. Not to shame them, but to glorify Him. Every wound you carry has become a witness. Every scar now testifies, and every delay has been converted into divine deposits. Now you withdraw. Now you reap. This is the coronation season. This is the divine reversal. You will not be the same. You will not go back. You will not explain. You will simply emerge. If this prophetic word bears witness in your spirit and you'd like to sow into this mission, consider a super thanks. Your support, even $20, helps us continue creating powerful content like this to speak into your moment. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe now for deeper prophetic insights, spiritual warfare teachings, and divine timing alerts. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Type "My justice is here" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1414 has now been decreed over your entire household. And now, as the veil draws back and the final words of this divine dispatch are released, hear what the Spirit of the Lord speaks through Archangel Michael with fierce clarity. You are seen and sealed. Let those words become your shelter. Let them wrap around your weary heart. Let them anchor you in this hour of divine transition. Because what begins on June 11th is more than a moment. It is a holy shift, a turning in the Spirit, a realignment in the heavens, a doorway that will not open again. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are right on schedule. The delays were divine. The detours were intentional. The silence was sacred. Everything that has led you to this very hour has been orchestrated by a hand wiser than yours. The God who sees the end from the beginning has declared this moment to be your alignment, your breakthrough, your divine crossover. June 11th is your marker in eternity. You are not alone in this crossing. The Spirit of God walks beside you. The angels of the Lord surround you. The blood of Jesus speaks on your behalf. And Michael, heaven's commander, stands at the threshold to make war for what belongs to you. And nothing sent against you shall prosper. No tongue raised to accuse shall stand. No weapon forged in secret shall pierce through the shield that has now wrapped around your destiny. From this day forward, you are not to walk as one uncertain. You are not to think as one abandoned. You are not to feel as one overlooked. You are chosen, sealed, set. The glory of God goes before you, and His justice follows behind you. You are no longer in waiting. You are now in walking. The scroll is open. The path is illuminated. And your feet have been made steady by the word of the Lord. This is not the end of a message. This is the activation of a movement. You are the movement. The breakthrough, the answer, the voice, the fire, the prophecy fulfilled. You carry within you what generations prayed to see. The mantle of authority rests on your shoulders. The crown of perseverance rests upon your head. And the oil, oh yes, the oil, flows over your life because you endured the crushing. To go. Go with peace. Go with boldness. Go with divine precision. You are not stepping into the unknown. You are stepping into the fulfillment of what heaven has always known. The future is not a mystery. It's a memory to God. And He's inviting you to walk into what He already finished. May peace guard your heart. May purpose govern your steps. May glory trail behind every move you make. You have nothing to fear, nothing to prove, nothing to earn. You are already seen, already sealed, already sent. Declare it now, aloud and with full authority. I receive it. Let heaven echo it back over your life. Let the realms respond. Let the angels align. Let every delay disintegrate at the sound of your agreement. You are stepping forward. You are rising. And nothing will stop what heaven has already ordained. This message didn't find you by chance. It found you because your future is now. Type I receive IT in the comments if you know this is your appointed hour. Blessing code 1717 has now wrapped your path in glory.